You know, I told my friends this already, but I didn't give them the whole story. So, this video will be the whole story. As you know, my previous sock account got compromised, and the one video that they deleted was the human exorcism video. Now, common sense will tell you why, out of all my videos, would that be the one to be deleted. I mean, certainly there are ones that are more offensive, more violent, I suppose, more something of more negative substance that could actually be excused than just spouting biblical verses. So there are only three things that could be at work here. One, moderators are religiously discriminating against me, which would fall into the purview of number two anyway. Number two, moderators are just, egomaniacal scum who feel like they can do whatever they want whenever they want without any legal or societal repercussions, and thus, proving everything I've said thus far. Or three, they are actually physically demons or demonically possessed, and it bothers them extremely that I'm aware of that and trying to spiritually troll them, essentially. And, I don't expect you to believe in angels and demons, because I am a real spiritualist. I am a real Christian. I don't like that word, but that's what I believe. And as time goes on, I believe it more and more thoroughly. I've had arguments with people in my personal life because I do not give them the condolence of when their family members die that they're going to go to heaven or to hell. I do not believe in a human soul. I believe only certain creatures, I guess you could put it, have a soul, and human beings are not one of such creatures. Human beings are promised a second resurrection, but this does not constitute as a soul. This constitutes as an agreement upon God for those that prove themselves worthy, those that were good in life and showed that they have what it took to be messengers and warriors of God, that He will accommodate them. He will grant them a second life as compensation for what they lack in spiritual matter. They lack a soul, but God will grant them something similar to a soul, a synthetic soul from our consciousness. And, this goes over people's heads because it completely contradicts what they've been taught, but not what the Bible says. If you actually read the Bible, it never says man has a soul. And in fact, it hints to that any interaction with dead people is just the ruse of multitudes of demons. So, when I say demon, that's an umbrella term. You could just say alien, but I don't want to sound like the History Channel. And not to mention alien implies that there are benevolent creatures. And while I'm sure they are benevolent creatures, I would not call them a demon. So, demon seems like the most appropriate word to use here. And the further reason why I believe this has to do with demonic possession and demonic activity is because of Monsanto. I recently was supporting the Monsanto marches globally because, as we know, genetically modified foods are poison incarnate. They're poisoning the fucking food, and it's literally killing the planet. However, something you did not know theologically is that demons are not pitchforks and devil horns. They're diseases. They're pestilence. They are sapient beings that resemble microorganisms like viruses and bacteria. Or at the very least, they are warlock-type creatures that hold domain over these things. And wouldn't it make a lot more sense that as we become more and more engrossed into this demonic world, that it would become more and more based upon that pestilence and that disease, if indeed there were demons. And, a lot of the vaccines, a lot of the stuff in the food are dead viruses. They are, taken genetically from these different microorganisms. So, when you take that into consideration, along with the general attitude and direction humanity is taking, it would not be illogical to say that demons are involved. People just don't want to say that because they're ashamed, because they think that any mention of extra phenomenal activity must mean that you're either crazy or you're just blinded with faith, that you're just some kind of fundamentalist that is incapable of rational thought and rational discussion. And nothing could be further from the truth in my case, because quite honestly, I don't want you to be religious. If you were religious, you are more inclined to be bamboozled by these demonic energies than if you were an atheist. Because if you are a Christian or a Muslim or a Jew or whatever, you are going to believe the lies that you were taught. They are going to have some kind of control over you, and that is going to be exploited. Given atheism can be exploited too. The very notion of being anti-theistic can be exploited. But if you ask me, it's not nearly as exploitable as theism. So that's really why I do the human exorcism videos. Because not only just to be a dick, but to be a dick on a spiritual level. I actually want to torment the demons that live inside of these moderators. And more or less, I think it torments the moderators themselves, because obviously they are either of demonic class, or they have accepted demonic class within them. And, you know, I couldn't tell you what the motivation for that is, other than, you know, maybe power, just some kind of sick desire to spread mayhem and hate, you know, just pure evil. There doesn't really have to be any semblance to it, because there's no semblance to what they do anyway. It's nonsensical what they do. It's not like they really get anything out of it other than hurting other people. They already have their money. They already have their website. Why do they need to hurt other people? Why do they need to oppress other people? It makes no sense. I could not imagine doing that with that kind of power. Because why would I fucking need to? I have everything I could ever want. And why would I not want to share that with other people and help other people reach their goals and their maximum potential and spread the joy and, you know, the improvement, advance society, make society better. So the only conclusion can be that they either get off on hurting other people and keeping us down as a society, or something is, you know, controlling them. Something is influencing them in such a strong way that they are no longer acting in their own free will, if that's what you want to call it, even though I don't really believe in free will either. Because let me tell you something about free will. Free will does not exist so much as potential exists. You know, you think you have the free will because you choose these minor things within your daily life. But in reality, all your life is a series of events and minor choices that lead up to your potential for either more good or more evil. That's it. It's like a railroaded D&D game. It's like a fucking, you know, Mass Effect with Renegade and Paragon, and no matter which side you choose, you basically get the same fucking ending, just in different color tones. That's really how it is. And again, people don't want to accept that. They want to think that they have some special place in the universe, which is ironic, given that they don't want to talk about religion. So, basically what I'm telling you is religion's going to lie to you, and typically, atheists are just lying to themselves. And it's a very, very grim, dark world. And there are very, very grim, dark forces behind that world. And we play a part in that, but not as big of a role as we would like to believe that we do. That's what I think goes on. That's it.